over there, over there. Send the word over there. That the Yanks are coming, the Yanks are coming. The drums rum-tumming everywhere. So prepare, say a prayer. Send the word to beware. We'll be over, we're coming over, and we won't come back till it's over, over there, over there, over there. Send the word over.
Hey everybody, I'm Joshua Littrell. Thank you so much for tuning into the Veterans for Cannabis podcast today. This is part 2 with Edwin Richardson Jr., who is founder and CEO of NGF Global. Edwin, how are you doing, sir?
Hey, doing great, man. Thanks again for having me on.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. As I always started off, if you don't mind letting the listeners know where you're geographically located at in the country today.
Absolutely, yeah. So I'm down in Pensacola area, Florida, in the Panhandle of Florida area.
Beautiful. Well, I'm up here in Georgia, and we're still on that lockdown from the United States Air Force with my wife with a 30-mile travel ban till 30 June, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. COVID-19.
Yeah, so they've opened up the beaches here within the past week, and we have just been bombarded.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. I bet that's crazy. And that's the beautiful, beautiful beaches for any of our listeners who have never been to the Emerald Coast. They are really missing out.
Oh yeah, man. Crystal white sand, crystal blue water is beautiful. One of the most beautiful beaches in the world.
It is. It absolutely is. One of the most beautiful things in the world, in my opinion, is cannabis. And we are here on the Veterans for Cannabis podcast today. Edwin, we left off our last one. We were talking about NGF Global, and we were talking about hemp. What in the world? You guys are going to get into the hemp industry?
We are. So we wanted to look at does our platform, does our solution, the NGF Connect, does it bring a good working model to bring those solutions to the challenges in the hemp and cannabis industry?
Well, I tell you what, before we really get into, what you guys are going to try to accomplish, and I don't even think try, it's what you are accomplishing. Let's talk about some of those challenges. What are some of the things that you've heard that are challenges in the hemp industry? And then I'll actually give you some of the things that I've heard, and then we'll just talk about those. And then we'll really focus on how we're going to fix those. How are we going to improve this process? So what are some of the big pain points, if you will, in the hemp industry that you've heard of?
Oh, wow. Where to begin?
Good question.
Okay.
Good question.
So a lot of it is identifying a true quality product with the documentation to match.
Okay.
I think that has been one of the biggest kind of pain points that has been brought to our organization through the focus groups that we've started. That's one of them. Another one is the transportation process, ensuring the quality of the product for the transportation and the entire business transaction in general, like getting away from the untrust, the idea that somebody's out to rip somebody off, or this is my get rich quick kind of move here, and just doing smart business. And it just doesn't seem like in certain areas and at certain times, it seemed like there's like some good business taking place. But again, I think when we left off the last time we spoke, we talked about the boom. And I think we've yet to see the boom in this industry.
Oh, I don't disagree. I don't disagree at all because, it's still just brand new. It's in its infancy. It's a burgeoning industry. That boom has not technically happened yet. I think we've had some pows, some pow-pows, but we haven't had that big, TNT dynamite yet. You mentioned really some of the pain points that are facing our producers, that are facing our extractors and all that stuff. And that's the analytical information. And what I mean by that is I can get lab analysis, Edwin, from a lab in Oregon, send the same exact product out of the same bottle to a lab in Florida and get two completely different results. Completely different results. So is that something you guys are really looking to try to improve or to standardize, if you will?
Yeah, I think standardized, for, lack of better terms, or even for the short-term solution now, is probably the best way to put it. Just a way to get everybody in this kind of industry of focus on the same sheet of music. Everybody's talking the same thing. Everybody's kind of looking at the same thing. And right now, we've been spending some time trying to figure out, like, why is that? Why are you looking at the exact same sample, but your data points are so significantly different from this other organization who had the same sample? So why is that?
Edwin, one of the things too, you just said same sheet of music, and people use the same terms with completely different meanings. Somebody calls it full spectrum here in Georgia, and somebody calls it full spectrum in Kansas, and it ain't full spectrum, the same definition. So I think that's a huge issue that we're facing right now.
Yeah.
Is just generic terminology that should be the same. Red should be red, should be red. Don't matter where red's at, right?
Man, you just hit the nail on the head. Using these generic terminology and passing it off as, the end all. Like, this is exactly what it is. And you're nowhere close to exactly what it is.
Correct. So will the NGF Global platform, is that really what it's going to be there to focus on, is to help improve that process for both the buyer and the seller, for the farmer and the is it the extractor? Who you really want to target with that?
And so, identifying the customer is the key focus. So the idea, even if you look at how this started, it was the undoctored data, quality of the product direct off the farm. And that's who our key customer is. And that answers another kind of question for the farmer. How do I market this product and how do I get this out there? Well, the platform does it for them, really. And there's certain things that I can't go into detail just yet, but there are certain requirements that we require for the farmer, the grower, the producer to present in order to market their product on the platform. And by doing this allows us to develop some sort of standardization into what certain terminology means, certain products, and so forth, from the buyer to the grower.
Well, I tell you, one of the things that I pride myself in doing is doing the research, before we have guests on, and understanding the people that we bring on. And one of the things that I was most impressed with the very first time you gave me the information on the website, I took a look at it. But, man, just the layout, the beauty of the website itself. Edwin, and what is that website again?
Yeah, thanks, man. It's www.ngf-global.com.
Man, the first time I perused that website, it was phenomenal. It almost looked like Google Earth. And I was so impressed by that I can see, here's a farm or a producer or a piece of equipment or a piece of land, and it's literally on the map. And I can delve down into that and zoom in, and I'm like, boom, wow. How did you guys?
You're talking about the Connect site. So that's different.
Okay.
So the website is kind of like an onboarding process that'll guide you to the actual platform. And we have its own domain, and it will be www.ngf-connect.com. So it's the NGF Connect platform. And yeah, man, you just hit the nail on the head. And it's exactly what it is. You can search anywhere in the globe. You can search by region. You can search by product. You can search by keyword search and component. It's designed to streamline it to find exactly what you are looking for.
NGF Global, it has global in the name. I mean, you don't just intend for this to be a United States company, do you?
Yeah, no. We are not NGF America. We are not NGF North America. This is you think about agriculture, and it doesn't matter if you're talking about a food product, you're talking about a hemp product. Like, this is a global challenge that we're working on here, and everybody is affected by it. So yeah, this is something that's going to be available for everybody, and it's incredible to see who's been signing up and reaching out, wanting to know more.
The thing that I think really excites me is that you and I have had some offline talks about hemp, and everybody's all excited about the CBD industry, but that's just a little tiny piece of what the hemp industry is. And
Oh yeah.
you understand it, and are building that out on the platform, because hemp that's grown in Germany is going to be grown for a different process than it is grown in Colorado. So understanding that and seeing that larger vision is what, in my opinion, sets you all completely apart from the rest of the competitors out there. You understand this is a global industry, and not only on top of that, hemp is something that we've just barely scratched the surface of, and your excitement behind that is why I'm so excited about what you're bringing to the table.
Oh man, yeah. When you look at because when you look at the infrastructure available to support hemp and cannabis, it is nowhere close, but
No.
it's growing. And being a part of what is going to establish that new market standard and the new safety and security and transparency and logistics, being able to establish that on a global scale as this takes place, man, like we are in such a great position and have such great organizations and professionals around us. Like this is I'm humbled to be a part of it.
Well, I think we're all humbled by hearing your story, and your vision and direction for the organization. Where you're going to take NGF Global is phenomenal, because I think our listeners understand your passion. They hear it in your voice. They understand your background that we've talked about on the previous podcast. I mean, damn, you're a man that gets it done, So when you think about the hemp industry, it's young though, Edwin. It's young. Are you worried about the youth that is the hemp industry itself?
No, I don't, man, because actually, if you look at the history of hemp and cannabis, it's a very, very aged industry. It's just here recently that, in our society, that it's really come to the open public as something that's accessible, kind of in a way that it's accessible the way it is. But as far as the youth being involved, everything about what we're doing with the platform is designed to open opportunity, and that includes education. So
that's exciting.
With what we're doing, yeah, like it, and people should have access to it, and it shouldn't cost an arm and a leg to build something, especially something that just comes from, the earth. And that's what we want to do. And again, I think this is what's really going to lead to that boom that everybody's been waiting for.
Yeah, you know how long I've been in this. I've been in this cannabis industry since 2010, actually growing the physical plant itself. But in the hemp industry since 2014, 15, and taking the guesswork out of it is, in my opinion, is what's going to make that boom happen that you're talking about. So without giving away the farm, what are some of the things that you guys intend to accomplish to really set yourself apart from the competition? And what I mean by that is, when we talk about hemp, is somebody that's looking to buy CBD oil going to be able to log on to your platform?
Yeah, so anybody can log on to the platform. The platform is actually going to be free to everybody.
Okay.
Now, there's certain things that if you want to participate on the platform, and if there's certain details you want to see to a particular product, or you want to make a purchase, now that's going to come at a subscription. Again, we need to be profitable. We're a business.
Right.
But it's a fair price, and that price was actually developed by our customers. And that's the beautiful thing about it. So we know it's fair.
So for our listeners who may be sitting in, Iowa, and they are trying to find a good quality CBD oil to use personally for themselves, is this the platform for them? Is that what we're talking about? Or are we talking about something different?
It's a little different right now. So the idea is tracing it back to the farm. So if we have a buyer that is an extraction facility, right, they produce CBD oil, whatever that is, and they purchased their hemp product through our platform from our farms. And when I say our farm, that just means they are a farmer that is signed up to use our platform to market their product for the safe and secure transactions. So that's what that means. So they would be able to present their oils as long as we were able to validate and verify that everything that went into that oil component was also brought from our platform through the farms.